did the last time.
Okay.
And it is Monday, and join us for Coffee and COVID conversation. It's been a very interesting start to the week. And I will say, from the perspective of the ABEM Digital Creations team here, when I opened my email and I got the notification from the client that said, gosh, the past 48 hours have been a little bit disruptive and we need to reschedule and rethink our work with you. You go, is that so? Is that so? I know that the unknowns far outweigh the knowns at this moment in time. And I know that we are in a position where we've got to rethink and restructure a number of things that are going on with clients. And it's very curious to try to imagine how the worlds of a hair designer and hair stylist in New York working on Broadway, a dental lab, and a coffee commodities trader could have something in common. How in the world could they have something in common? And the something in common is, how are they having to reset their businesses as a result of the COVID-19 and the stock market and the closures and all of that? So we thought we'd have a little bit of a chat this morning to share some of our own thinking with you about what the heck is going on and what do we do? What do we know? What do we need to know? How do we figure it out? And how do we move forward in a way that is mindful of service to others and something that will help keep us all in a more positive frame of mind and figuring out a way to work it through? I'm going to hand it off to my partners now.
Well, first of all, I want to say I can't stop touching my face. So my new thing, I was reading about, take a cue, and when you want to do that, do something else. So I'm like holding my pen, but I'm still holding against my face. So I think I still don't have this new normal down yet. But yeah, I mean, we were just talking about this between ourselves and realized there's probably a lot of other people who are going through this too. And you know, what we realized is that we are in the place where we need to flip some of our offers. Sometimes we have kind of a big foundation offer and then people can add pieces onto it. And instead of doing the big foundation offer first, right now, what we're looking at is how can we flip it and start with something manageable and honestly lower cost now that our clients have time to work on it. Because that's really the biggest impediment we find, is that people want to get it done in 30 days and it almost always takes 90 because it takes a while to work through the process. So that's one of the things I've been thinking about, and now I'm going to hand it over to Katie so I don't just keep babbling on. I'll just touch my pen.
So this kind of morning situation has made me think, because even not just this morning having a client, you know, it's always stressful when a client that, you know, might be a week ago thinking about closing on that, you know, big $18,000 contract, you know, you're thinking, oh, really excited. And then the morning of your meeting, it's like, well, things are uncertain and maybe we should talk later. So it's like, that is like a big, whoo boy, you know, that's a lot to deal with. So, I mean, the way I see it with us, because this is all happening this morning. We just decided to hit record and start talking about it. But there's two parts of you when this happens. And one part of me is like, you know what? Their industry is really affected. You know, I mean, they're a brick and mortar. They have supply chains in China. You know, they could really have to like shut down business for a while. So one part of your mind is like, well, just let them go, you know, and then the other part of our mind is like, well, how can we be of service now? And that might be like, instead of that, you know, $18,000 they were going to spend on an actual marketing campaign, maybe now like legitimately does not make sense for them to do. But now how can we be of service to them? So it's like, well, let's think about what they can do now. And I think for any business owner, it's, you know, maybe you're spending more time at home. Maybe you're a brick and mortar and you can't work as much. Maybe now isn't the time to spend a bunch of money on like an actual marketing campaign. But what anybody can do right now for their business is record a podcast, record content, start sharing their expertise with your client base or potential clients. And that's something of value right now. So we think for digital marketers, now might be a time to like switch up your offers so you can still be of service and, you know, be helpful and not really run away from, you know, clients saying like, I have to hold on to my marketing budget, I don't know what I'm doing. How can you still open up a conversation and be like, hey, well, let's actually just look at your options right now, you know? And I think that could be, you know, good for everyone to start thinking about, because it really is easy to start thinking, just let them go. They'll come back when they're ready. Because right now, let's face it, a lot of things are uncertain. So, I mean, how can you continue that conversation? How can you continue being of value? So those are my thoughts today.
And
Well, and
wait, go ahead, Michelle.
sorry. Well, and I think too, so I usually focus on the social piece of digital marketing. And to me, we're always talking about how to build relationships. And so this is simply a new opportunity to build relationships in a different way. And, you know, there's kind of a formula that we typically follow in terms of how much we talk about topics that are of interest, service-oriented pieces versus how much time we spend selling. And right now, it's probably spend more time on the relationship piece and maybe low to no time selling. But, you know, if all of this flattening the curve works the way we hope it will, there will be a time when people are ready to come back and when there's a pent-up need for things. And, you know, also you may have a product that is the kind of thing that people have time for now. Maybe they didn't have time to figure out how to learn to be a speaker. Now, you know, it's not the time to go out and be speaking to large audiences, but it might be the time for you to focus on doing some at-home training and practicing and, you know, trying this out in the comfort of your own home. You know, your pets can be your new audience for the next couple of weeks. So, Jean, let me send it back to you.
Well, I think whether we're reflecting on this from the perspective of our own marketing company or whether we're putting ourselves in the position of some of our clients, one of the main things that we can do right now is to take advantage of a moment to be creative, to explore new ways of engagement, and to find positive ways to contribute and to serve. And I think that whether that is in the form of, oh my gosh, let us help you get your podcast out the door and record it in a professional way. That's a service we would like to do, offering you the opportunity to listen to the podcast that we are recording and offering you the opportunity to be part of the Facebook group that we've started. Our group is all about trying to help business owners weather the pandemic. So if you'd like to join us, click on the link right below this video in the comment section. There are a couple of questions we need you to answer just so that we can vet who's coming in. And we would love to have you join the conversation with us. If you're interested in working on that podcast, though, we're here to help. And we'll give you information about that as well. And it's Monday. In all the ways, Monday is usually Monday and maybe even more right now. I'm trying to hold on to my coffee cup instead of my face, you know, because I do that all the time too. You know, I'm just like, hold the cup, hold the cup.
Jean always says, is it still Monday? Yes, Jean, it's still Monday. Yes. Monday. America, it is still Monday.
But today may be the Mondayest Monday we have had in a lot of Mondays. So buckle up, everybody. Get your coffee. You know.
Well, you know, I will say that when our client did hit us with the, gosh, I think we need to reschedule and maybe redo that. And we went, seriously? And we wrote back and said, you know, we understand that there are a lot of unknowns, but would you still be willing to have a conversation to just talk about some of the implications of those don't knows in your business right now? We want to help you explore creative options and how to be resilient in a time when being resilient is about, you know, I think that's on the top of everyone's mind. So, and he wrote back, yes. He wrote back, yes. We sent a note and said, don't just walk away right now. Let's explore. And it wasn't, let's explore and let's figure out how to sell you a different package. It was like, we want to understand what's going on. We want to try to figure out how we can all work on this together. Now, we'll stay in touch and let you know how that goes. But what a morning. Happy COVID and coffee.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye now.